Hey, Craig.
Hello, welcome to today's episode of Juicing the Numbers, your statistics and sports podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I am Corwin Heller.
And today we'll be doing a little bit of around the horn stuff, just kind of going over things that have been going on, particularly in the worlds of baseball and football, hockey. Have you been watching much this year?
Barely any. Mostly highlights, not really any games.
Yeah, I've been keeping up with the scores on my phone. I haven't had the time or sometimes inclination to watch, which I feel relatively guilty about. But at the same time, you got to live your life.
Yeah, like I'll keep up with fantasy and the headlines, but I've really just haven't had time to watch games.
So let's talk about some sports we have been watching a little bit more of. Let's start with some football shit.
Let's do it.
You want to start with the Cowboys?
Yeah, we should start with the Cowboys.
So today is Friday the 6th when we were recording this. So far the only NFL game of this week has been the Cowboys Bears game, in which the Bears beat the Cowboys, I think 31-24. This is probably the least interesting game ever. Both teams kind of... You know what sucks is that Dallas is still first in their division at 6-7.
It's mind-blowing.
I cannot stand it. I mean, God, can you imagine how fucking mad everyone else in the division must be? Literally, if you were 500, you'd be winning that division right now.
Oh yeah, and
the Jets
I don't know how you
could
be. I don't know how you could be a fan of any one of those teams in that conference and be like, I'm confident because we're like almost there. We just need like 2 or 3 more wins to win the division. Because you're still you're not going anywhere. Like that's just a team that they should all be tanking. I don't know about that.
It's just pathetic to watch. And what's crazy is that they are going to host a playoff game, and it's going to be one of the Minnesota Vikings and Seattle Seahawks. And they're going to get
the 49ers.
Yeah, true. Or the 49ers, or an outside shot of the Rams. And they're going to get slaughtered again. And Jerry Jones is going to be all fucking stupid. I don't know. I don't have anything really constructive to say about Jerry Jones, except for the fact that I don't care for him as a person.
Yeah. Man, honestly, I'm just wondering what it would be like to work for that kind of guy. Even him specifically.
Oh, man, what do you think it would be like?
I feel like the highs are super high and the lows are super low. Like, yeah, team, employee retreat to the Bahamas because you're all so great. And all right, you're here 3 days straight overnight, because we need to make this trade happen type of just crazy stuff.
All right. So you're probably right. He's probably fucking insane. It's probably Jerry bought us all Lamborghinis versus don't talk to Jerry. He just ate a person. Because he's probably rich enough that that's an option. Let's talk about the Cowboys. So, do you want to go over that stat that we both saw?
You could.
I don't have it in front of me.
I don't either. That's why I passed it on. Shit.
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
You're always so much better.
Do you want to go into like the actual stats first, and then we'll talk about that one?
Well, I have one thing in particular I'm very interested in bringing up. So I'll hang on to it for a second. The gist of it, while Corwin's searching for it, is that the Dallas offense has been productive, and it's compared to the Seahawks. And just for reference for where the Dallas Cowboys stand in different aspects of their offense by measure of yards, which, granted, they have played 13 games as of right now. Everyone else has played 12, so this is all subject to change, but I doubt this will change. The Cowboys are first in the NFL in yards, 5,601 yards. And unless the Ravens in Sunday's game get 552 yards, which is it possible? I guess. Is it likely? Fuck no. The Cowboys will probably also end week 13 with the most yards in the NFL. Or week 14, I think we're in. And then if we look at points for, the Cowboys have 334, which is 5th most in the NFL. Also super high. They have run the most plays out of anybody in the NFL, 867. They have the most yards per play, 6.5. They have, I wonder how many turnovers they've lost. They have lost, I lost it already. Oh, fuck me. God damn it. Oh, they lost 16, which is the 14th fewest in the NFL, so pretty average.
Not a factor.
And they have the most first downs, 316. So by all accounts and by expected points, which is something we've talked about a little bit about, where it's just all the actions given that your team has performed in the game tend to lead to certain results, those results eventually being scoring. So expected points can be like the likelihood or the amount of points that you should have scored as a team. Dallas Cowboys have the second most with 175.51, just behind the Baltimore Ravens. So by all measures, offense looks good. And yet the Cowboys are 6-7.
Yeah, so the stat that I had to look up here is the 6-7 Cowboys versus the 10-2 Seahawks. The Cowboys have allowed fewer points on defense, scored more points on offense, has gained more yards, and allowed fewer yards. So, by all measures, offensively and defensively, the Cowboys are better than the Seahawks, but the Seahawks have 4 more wins and 5 less losses.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, it's some fucking shit, man.
So, no, go ahead. You sound like you're to say something.
You really just gotta, Kellen Moore, their offensive coordinator, he was their backup QB for a number of years. This is his first year as their OC. He has fucking killed it. He has turned Dak into a franchise quarterback. He's using Amari Cooper just super well. The offensive line is looking great. Zeke has been, hit or miss, but he's still had a very good season. And the offense is great. It's just kind of the rest of the coaching staff that leaves a lot to be desired.
Real quick, because I have team defense in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think has allowed the most yards on defense this year?
Miami.
No, they are third.
Ooh, can I get a second guess?
You may.
I'm gonna go wild card and say Atlanta.
No, the Falcons are 10th, actually.
Ooh.
Number 2 is the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
They have allowed 4,860 yards thus far through 12 games. Not great.
Okay.
Number 1 is the Arizona Cardinals with 5,116, 250 more than the next team. That's a full ass game more.
That's really bad. That is excruciatingly bad.
Not great.
And they also have the guy with the most sacks in the NFL in their team.
Just perplexing. So the Seahawks are 9th actually on this list. They've allowed 4,427 yards. The Cowboys are 18th, 4,241. So a pretty decent gap. Not earth-shattering. It's about like 170. Yeah, like 175 yards or so. So it's not like it's massive, but it is there. I want to look at points for though, where the Dallas Cowboys are still a little bit better. The Dallas Cowboys have allowed 267 points on defense. The Seahawks 293, which over the course of 12 games, do you care about 26 points over 12 games? It's just over 2 points per game. I'm not sure I care.
Not a super amount.
Yeah.
It's a difference, but it's not, necessarily the biggest difference. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah, nothing here really looks that ostentatious.
Vocab word.
Ooh, what's interesting though is the Cowboys have allowed 817 plays. The Seahawks 758. It's actually a decently sized gap. That 60 additional plays that the Cowboys have had to be in on the field for. I don't know what to make of any of this. I'm not sure I care. I'm not sure what I make of it either.
I wish they had time of possession on here. I guess
Um,
that's an offensive stat.
yeah, I guess they don't. I don't see it. But that is interesting. Do you
They
see
do
anything that
not
really
have it on
jumps out for you
offensive.
here?
No, that's what I was looking for. Time of possession was gonna be the thing I was gonna hopefully lay my hat on, but it's not here.
Well, I guess
Um,
it's just going to be the
Penalties, they were
converse of whatever the time of possession is on offense, right?
yeah, but they don't have it
Um,
on either, so
oh,
it's hard to
super.
say.
Great.
Yeah. They have the 11th most penalty yards and the 10th most penalties in the league. Um, but I don't know if that's, you know, that's I don't know. I wish I knew how it explained it, but I can't figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure I have anything great for this either, but I do have something I thought might be interesting.
Okay.
So one of the things that a lot of people on Twitter underneath that comment were talking about is when the Cowboys score their points, right?
Mhm.
A lot of their fans are saying, well, the Cowboys have great offensive stats because by the time um by like the halfway point in the game, the other team is just playing prevent defense, which just allows the Cowboys to kind of do whatever the hell they want here and get garbage time points. Kind of basically the Cowboys this year are uh Blake Bortles and the Jaguars of yesteryear.
Gross.
Yes. So, how many touchdowns do you think the Cowboys have scored in the first quarter this year?
Um, how many did they have total? I guess I have that number in front of me. I don't have it. I don't know, 35.
35 touchdowns in the first quarter.
All right. Now I'm doing the math. They had 39 total, so I'm gonna go a little lower and say 15.
6.
Ooh. Yeah,
6.
34 was kind of high.
How many do you think they had in the second quarter?
I'll say 8.
10.
Okay.
10. So in the first half of the game, they have 16 total touchdowns
Not great.
for
Not
the entirety
fantastic.
of the
Actually, I don't know
13
why
games they played. They played 13 games. They've scored in the first half 16 times.
Yeah, that's really
That's
bad.
like 1.2 times per game. That's awful.
That's fucking bad. So it's
Now hold on.
man,
Just
I'm
for
awful today,
perspective,
but
let's
it's
keep going
bad.
through it.
Yeah.
Third quarter. How many do you think they got?
12, 13.
8.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this also makes sense because Jason Garrett sucks.
Yeah, all right,
He
fair
can't.
enough.
He can't adjust. So they have a better chance, or at least this so far this season, they performed better in the second half, in the second quarter than they have at making halftime adjustments for the third. And then finally, how many do you think they've scored in the fourth?
Um, I guess I should be able to do the math, but I'll say 16.
Close, 14.
Damn.
Which is their highest number. And you put those two
Yeah.
numbers together, it's 22, which is 6 more than their first half performance, which over the course of 13 games, that means that they've scored almost double. They're scoring not almost double, more like 50% more, which is noticeable.
Yeah. And I mean, it says something about, their offense and their productivity and their efficiency early on, but it's hard saying, they have a good offense when it's all coming Blake Bortles style because of who Blake Bortles was. Like it's a bad stain and it's a bad taste in my mouth, and it's just I don't feel comfortable allowing them to count those kind of yards.
No, no one does. That's why everyone always used to knock on Blake Bortles because all the numbers were there, but if you watched the games, you knew that the timing of them made them rather suspect. Just real quick, because it's here and I'm kind of interested. Touchdowns in the first quarter, the Cowboys have allowed how many?
7.
9.
Okay.
9. So they've got 6 and they allowed 9. So the Cowboys usually go into the second quarter down.
Mm-hmm.
How many second quarter?
I'll stick with 9.
It is 9.
Yeah.
And they've scored, I think I said 10 in the second quarter. So now they're still in a first half deficit. It's, what did I say? 8, right? Yeah, 8 and 9 or so. Oh, fuck.
I think it was 9 and 9.
Yeah, all right, let's call it 17 allowed versus 16 got in the first half. So they have been outperformed ever so slightly on the touchdown scale in the first half.
Yes.
Let's look at the second half. How many do you think they have allowed in the third quarter?
I'm going to say 6.
7. They've
Ooh.
allowed 7. So they tightened up a lot. They got a lot more in the third quarter on their end. They got no, they only got one more. I think they got 8 in the first quarter, the third quarter of the last they've Jesus Christ. We're both
We're
struggling.
both off tonight. Yeah.
They have earned 8 touchdowns and have allowed 7 touchdowns. So now they're about even in their performance. So now it comes down to the fourth quarter. At least in theory, it does. Mm-hmm. So in the fourth quarter, where they scored the vast majority of their touchdowns, they scored, I believe we said 14. How many do you think they have allowed in the fourth quarter?
I'm going to go with 5.
It is 4. 4. So they've really tightened up in the fourth quarter. So one would think.
So if you want to think about it, they're scoring a lot in the fourth quarter. They have the ball. They are controlling, the time of possession. So naturally, the opponent's going to have less time to control the ball themselves. So they're going to be scoring a lot less.
Yep. Basically, the teams in the second half are letting the Cowboys kind of play more of their own game, and they're not trying as hard on offense, which, if you think about it, also makes a lot of sense because teams in the second half, they're probably trying to run out the clock, and they're not focused on scoring as much as they are concerned with time management.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the Cowboys are losing the game in the first half.
Yeah. And if they were able to get ahead in the first half, you have the best offensive line, arguably, in the league. You have arguably one of the best power runners in the league with Ezekiel Elliott. If you had the lead early on, you could grind the game to a halt, keep running the ball, keep burning the clock, and be able to hold out these games. But because they're starting from behind, they've been really great throwing the ball this year, no doubt about it. But they would be much more comfortable running the ball throughout instead of having to play catch up.
You know who they also remind me of? They're like a bad version. They're like they are the inverse of the Penguins from a few years ago when they made the playoffs with like a negative goal differential. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because the Penguins would lose in blowouts and then win all of their tight games.
Yep.
And the Cowboys are losing in blowouts. Winning in blowouts and losing all the tight games. So here's the Cowboys game log. They beat the Giants 35-17, so we're at plus 18. They beat the Redskins 31-21, so now we're at plus 28. They beat the Dolphins 31-6, so now we're at plus 53. Then they lose to the Saints. The first loss of the season was 3-1, lost 10-2, so now we're at plus 51, so it went down a little bit. Then they lost to the Packers 3-2. They lost 24-34, so now we're at plus 41. Then they lost to the Jets. I forgot they lost to us. So now they're 3-3. They only lost by 2 points, so now they're plus 39 point differential. Beat the Eagles by 27. So they're up to plus 60, right? 69, some shit. Doesn't matter. A high number. Along. They're still up. Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
I was following along with what you were saying. I just not the math.
Beat the Giants. They're at 5-3. They had 19 points on that. So they're winning by 2 scores, 3 scores pretty consistently. Lost to the Vikings by 1 score, 24-28. Beat the Lions 35-27. That's actually a one-score game where they won by one score, shockingly. Then they lost to the Patriots by one score, 13-9. They lost to the Bills by two scores, 15-26, and they lost to the Bears by one score, 24-31. So their production is there in the games that they managed to win, but in games that they lose, like, they can't seem to eke it out.
Do you remember the Chargers from a few years back that finished first in offense, first in defense, and first in special teams?
No, they were dead last in special teams.
Oh, they were dead last in special teams. First offense, defense, and missed the playoffs.
Yes, because of special teams.
That's like, these Cowboys are like the budget version of them.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just nothing but cops right now. They also remind me of the Mariners from a few years ago. I think like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The Mariners had this really strong first half, but it's because they kept winning games by one run. And there was a whole bunch of like articles like, are the Mariners good now? Like, no, they're not. Like, one-run games are kind of a crapshoot historically. So chances are this trend will come back down to earth and they'll start losing one-run games. And everyone was like, no, the Mariners are good. And then what happened? They bombed the second half because they kept losing all the one-run games.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the Cowboys right now. They're losing all the one-run games. They're losing all the one-score games. And guess what? You have to win those.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but you have to win them. Like, production's great, but you got to win.
I don't know how you can blame anyone else right now other than Jason Garrett.
Oh, there's no one else to blame.
The offense hasn't been great, but I mean, we talked about how they're top 10 in both offense and defense. You can't really, blame anyone other than the guy making the biggest mistakes that we've been able to notice.
How many games do you think the Seahawks have won or lost by greater than one score?
How many games have they played total? 12?
Yes. Yeah.
I'll guess 6.
All right, let's go through it. So they won week 1 against the Bengals 21-20, which looking back now is hysterical.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, so that's what's not only one score, it's one fucking point. Then they beat the Steelers 28-26, 2 points, one score.
Also looks not great.
Yeah. Lost to the Saints 27-33, that's 6 points, still one score. Beat the Cardinals 27-10, so that's 2 scores. All right. So that's the first one. Then they beat the Rams 30-29, a second 1-point victory. Still one score. They beat the Browns 32-28. That's 4 points, still one score. They lost to the Ravens 16-30. That is 2 scores. So that's the second one. They beat the Falcons 27-20, 7 points, 1 score. Beat the Buccaneers in overtime. So that's obviously 1 score. They beat the 49ers in overtime. That's also obviously 1 score. They beat the Eagles 17-9. Also 1 score, and they beat the Vikings 37-30, also 1 score. They have only 2 games that they won or lost by more than 1 score.
Wow.
That's ridiculous how tight these games have been.
I thought by pure chance it would even approach 6. Wow.
Yeah, they have won 1 game by more than 1 touchdown, and they have lost 1 game by more than 1 touchdown. It's fucking nuts.
Russell Wilson is forcing that to happen.
Oh, God. All right, so let's go through this because it's actually kind of interesting. How many first quarter touchdowns do you think they have?
7?
Actually, yeah, 7 on the dot.
Woo.
Including a pick 6, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, from Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so they have 7. Second quarter touchdowns?
7.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Which speaks great on Russell Wilson and the coaching staff.
Yeah, really. Making those adjustments in game. Good on them.
Third quarter touchdowns.
Ooh, I'll guess 9.
9 on the dot.
I'm getting better at this.
Yeah, you're getting pretty good. And fourth quarter touchdowns.
Ooh, I'll guess 10.
11,
Wow.
which makes a lot of sense given the fact they've won so many tight games.
Yeah.
And they have a single fifth quarter touchdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the overtime.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah, they won one overtime
I don't
game by a field goal and the other one by a touchdown.
I don't know why I got it so excited when you said fifth quarter. Like I've just learned a new fact about football that it could have a fifth quarter.
It would be cool though.
That would be pretty dope.
Yeah,
If
no,
it's like
this.
a hidden area on the field where like if you catch a pass on this exact spot, it opens up a prize wheel and you get a fifth quarter.
All right, so I'm not going to read it all out, but I'm just kind of eyeballing their opponent touchdown log, and it definitely looks like the fourth quarter is where they let up the most, which again makes the most sense because that's where they're either probably, I would guess they're playing prevent defense, but at the same time, that's where the Seahawks have also scored a lot of their touchdowns. So could be fourth quarter shit show kind of stuff happening, or neither team wanting the win. Russell Wilson kicking and screaming, dragging that team kicking and screaming through it. Tough to say, but he's fucking doing it, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. What do you want to talk about next? Oh, do you have anything else on the Cowboys? I should ask.
I do want to ask you about Dak Prescott.
Yeah, go for it.
What do you think happens with he's not getting the extension he wants. That's got to be certain, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be the one that he wants. I think he's still going to get an extension though. I think they'll settle around like 27, 28.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the market's trending up. That he's going to naturally get more money than you would expect because he's signing a contract. You know, there's no way he gets 30, but I don't see him falling down to like 27 or 25 either. So I think like a 27, 28, 4-year deal.
I mean, it makes the most sense, but it also just feels so weird because the team's been so bad. I will read out Dak Prescott's adjusted passing rate stat numbers, as we love these stats. He currently has a 120 yards per attempt plus, a 126 net yards per attempt plus, a 115 adjusted yards per attempt plus, a 120 adjusted net yards per attempt plus, 104 completion percent plus, 102 touchdown percent plus, 101 interception percent plus, 123 sack percent plus, all total up for a 108 rate, QB rate, or passer rating plus. So by all accounts, this is a tidy season for Dak Prescott, and yet the Cowboys are sucking dick.
Yeah,
this is just so perplexing.
Who do you think they should go after if not Jason Garrett? Well, they're not going after Jason Garrett. He's out. Who are they getting to replace him?
Well, we already mentioned Ron Rivera the other day, and I still think that's going to certainly be looked at. I saw on Twitter talks of Urban Meyer, and I didn't realize he was still going to coach.
I don't know. I don't know if I see that. Like, it's definitely the prestige of a job that, Urban is looking for at this point in his career. I just don't know if I see him going to the NFL. I mean, he's had so much success in college. He's such a good recruiter. He could easily maintain that success essentially anywhere he goes in, the Power Five. You see college coaches go up to the NFL and it not always working out, like Nick Saban.
Chip Kelly,
exactly. I don't know if he takes that risk. He doesn't really need another a dark spot in his resume.
Also, isn't he sick? I thought didn't he have cancer?
I don't know if it was cancer specifically, but both of his last, departures from Florida and from Ohio State have been because of health concerns. With Florida, I think it was his heart. And I guess it's just stress related all around.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. So going from college to the pros is usually a huge honor and a big accolade, and I think it certainly still is. But when it comes to football, it's just such a different fucking animal, and the level of success varies so wildly.
Mhm.
Um, Plus, it's also a very weird case where you could end up taking a pay cut.
Yeah.
Going from college to the NFL. Some of I think the highest government employees in the country are all college football head coaches.
I think it's like 60 to 70% of all, like, the highest paid public employees in each state. I think, like, 60 to 70% are from college coaching of football or basketball.
Yeah, it's huge, and you got to think about whether it's worth it. It's much more intense. You got to think, like, all right, I'm a 45-year-old dude. I got like a kid who's I don't know 12, and I want to help him in school and not have to do the extra games that the NFL has with the much more rigorous traveling schedule and practice schedule the NFL has, and the media responsibilities that the NFL has, which you have all of in college, but just not to the same extent. And
Mhm.
you get to pick, like you get to choose not to go and stay in college, which is a great, like I bet there's plenty of college athletes that if you told them, hey, you could make more money and stay in college forever, or you can go to the NFL where it's more prestigious, but you'll earn less and it'll be a lot harder. That some might opt to play college football forever.
So I just found the number that I was talking about earlier about, what states are, public employees are coaches and who aren't. Of the 50 states, 39 of them have a coach that are the highest paid employee. Only 11 don't.
Oof, wow. What are the 11 that don't? Do you know?
Med school dean, college president, med
No,
school
I mean like what
prosecutor.
states are they?
Oh, Montana, North and South Dakota, Nevada, Alaska, and the entirety of the Northeast, except for Rhode Island and Connecticut
All right, so Connecticut is probably Yukon for
and
basketball.
Delaware. Yeah, and then
That makes sense.
uh, Quinnipiac maybe for
For
Rhode
hockey?
Island. What schools are in Rhode Island?
URI is the only one that I know of because I thought
Yeah,
Quinnipiac was in Connecticut
it could be. I could be wrong on that.
because URI does have a really good basketball program.
What's the Ivy League in Rhode Island?
Oh, it's a great question.
I
It's
want to say
not.
Brown because everyone always forgets Brown.
I don't think it is. Oh, now I don't know.
Brown University is in
It is
Providence, Rhode
Brown.
Island.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's funny as fuck. Oh, UProv is also there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that basketball coach is probably pretty highly paid.
You know what sucks? Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah, no kidding.
Awful. Been there once. I have no desire to go back.
There's a reason that Rhode Island was only given so much land.
And
It's
they
because
wasted it.
they suck.
Fuck them.
Imagine, like, as the founding fathers were sitting around, like, carving up the nation, the two dudes from Rhode Island were just, like, sitting in a corner with, like, dunce caps on. Like, you get nothing. Fucking get out of here.
Fucking trash ass state.
My roommate is from Rhode Island.
And he also
Actually, he's
sucks.
from Connecticut, so fuck him.
He sucks a little bit less. You want to talk about Adam Vinatieri?
Well, while we're on the topic of college coaches, why don't we talk about college coaches?
Sure.
So James Franklin, head coach of Penn State, signed a extension through 2025 with 30. I'm sorry. No, it was through 2025. It was a 6-year extension. He has 34.7 million guaranteed through 2022. Going to have an average salary of 5.78. He is making a good amount of money right now.
Yeah, I would say so.
He is the 11th highest paid coach, even after his extension. in the country behind Florida, Oklahoma. I'm sorry, I should use the coaches' names. Dan Mullen, Lincoln Riley, Jeff Brom, Tom Herman, Gus Malzahn, Kirby Smart, Jimbo Fisher, Jim Harbaugh, Nick Saban, and Dabo Sweeney.
Dude, college football head coach names are absolutely outrageous.
Oh yeah,
They need to be
Dabo
stopped.
Sweeney, dude. Jimbo Fisher, Kirby Smart, Lincoln Riley. What are some other good ones? Willie Taggart.
Oh, that doesn't even sound. Yeah, no, it's
Ed
no.
Orgeron. Ed Orgeron, the best sounding coach I've ever heard.
What do you think it would be like? Do you think people would do it if colleges required coaches to change their names to like fit the college? Like you have to change your first name, your middle name to the name of the university.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Do you think people would do it?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you're getting paid like $25 million, you'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
I think people absolutely would do that. Why wouldn't they?
All right, hold on. Let me ask you this: do you think head coaches of college teams would rather change their middle name to the middle, change their middle name to the name of the university, or have to teach a class? Not about football, like an actual class.
So
with grades and assignments.
Do you know who Mike Leach is?
The pitcher for the Mariners?
No. That's Mike Leake.
Oh,
Mike Leach.
Same guy.
Yeah, same dude. Same state. He is the head coach of Washington State. He's a prolific coach. He pretty much invented the air raid system and all that. He teaches a warfare class called Warfare in Football, and he teaches
you mentioned this,
former, high-ranking military member. It's pretty dope. I 100% would try to take that class if I went to Washington State.
But so, which do you think a head coach would rather do?
Probably not teaching the class, just because that's a lot of work for professors alone, let alone, head coaches for the NFL or for, major colleges.
What a hilarious option that would be, though. Like, Urban Meyer sits down at Ohio State, about to re-sign his contract, and the powers that be at Ohio State go, all right, Urban, are you prepared to be Urban Ohio Meyer? Or are you prepared to teach intro to economics at 8:30 on Wednesdays?
I think there's a lot of coaches that, like, if you started this now, they're like, no, my fucking name, like the brand of my name is worth so much more than this coaching gig. Get the fuck out of here.
But what college does Jimbo Fisher coach for?
Texas A&M right now. He was Florida State when they had their, little dynasty run. So
would you rather it be Jimbo A&M Fisher or Jimbo Texas Fisher?
Jimbo Tamu Fisher.
Jimbo Tamu Fisher.
Because if you're living in Texas and you call Texas A&M Texas, they will string you up.
Oh, kind of like calling the Pittsburgh Steelers Pitt.
No, honestly, it would be like it's kind of like if you called like Ohio State Ohio.
Or like calling the Mets the New York team. Ha ha, fuck out of here.
You got
Yankees.
Yeah. So I do have to make another correction. The information I was reading out for James Franklin's contract was from his last contract extension. They have not yet released the specific numbers, but it is an extension through 2025.
So it is big. We just don't know how big.
It is big. It's just instead of, a small increase, because as I was reading that, I was like, wow, 5.8, whatever it was, that's not a huge salary that you would expect. It's probably going to be much higher than that. It's probably going to be in like the 8 million range, 8-9 million.
Yeah, that's some serious coin.
Actually, a little less. Probably like 7 or 8. Final answer.
And the board says All right. Are you now ready to talk about Adam Vinatieri?
Yeah, once I comment that is not how Family Feud works.
Survey
Whatever.
says that was close.
Survey says Adam Vinatieri.
Survey said, "Oh no, that would have been my guess." Like, yo, I see what you would. No, I didn't put it up there, but no, that's Steve Harvey.
Sure, we'll take it.
Or an old crawdad fisherman. Same thing, really. All right, so Adam Vinatieri is going to miss this Sunday's game, which, again, if you're listening to this, already happened. Adam Vinatieri has played in the NFL forever, believe it or not.
Yeah, he has played since
1920.
1996, so he has been playing longer than I have been alive.
Yeah, he played for New England from 96 to 05, and then with the Colts from 06 to present day 2019. That is a nice long 24-year career. He has been sterling all through it, with the exception of this season. He has led the league in field goal percent 3 different times. He's led the league in field goals made, shockingly only once. But whatever. And he's led the league in extra points attempted and made, also shockingly only once. But to go with that, he has made all of his extra points a startling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. 13 years of never missing an extra point.
Startling number I haven't counted yet. Bear with me.
It was just so big. I wasn't expecting it to be so big. 13. That means that, like, and the most recently at age 44.
Yeah, it's impressive.
His age 44 season, he attempted 44 extra points and made 44 extra points.
What a guy.
For a number 4 himself.
I mean, he is the all-time points leader in the history of the NFL with 2,673. That's insane. Like, that is an all-time record right there.
He is also made 2 punt attempts in his career, and that is hilarious. Really? Yes. He made his first punt attempt in his first year, 1996. It was 27 yards. That was it. And he made his second punt attempt 5 years later in 2001, and it went 33 yards.
You want to know something really funny along with that?
Yes.
As you were saying that, I was looking at the field goal leaders for this season and noticed that Ty Long, the starting kicker for the Los Angeles Chargers currently, has 36 punts this year.
Is that a lot or a little? I genuinely don't know.
For a kicker, I feel like that's a lot. I mean, Vinatieri Adam Vinatieri has had 2 in his career, and he's had 36 this year.
Wow, no, that is a lot. Holy shit.
Yeah, because I was looking through it, I was like, oh, that's like 0, 0, 0, 2, 1. Oh, 36. Holy fuck.
So Adam Vinatieri has never in his career prior to this year dipped below. Let's see what the other low is here. 73.5% of his field goals made. That low comes in 2003. Outside of that season, he had never been below 75%. With his second, I guess now third lowest mark being 1996, his rookie year, in which he made 77.1% of his field goals.
So for reference, 75% this year would be good for 24th in the league.
Oh, that's interesting. Anyway, this year he is at 68%.
31st in the league right now.
Who's below him?
Brett Maher for the Dallas Cowboys, who has been their starting kicker all season.
That makes a lot of sense.
Matt Bryant, who was released after a long career. Robbie Gould for San Francisco, who has been hurt, and then Cairo Santos for Tennessee. But he's only attempted 9, so.
Adam Vinatieri, he has Can I see just a cumulative attempt? Yeah, there it is. He's attempted 25 and he's made 17. Although I'm actually slowly, as I look at this, more willing to forgive him. So he's attempted 7 field goals within the 20 to 29 yard mark, and he made 6 of them, so he missed one. All right, that sometimes is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
From 30 to 39, he's attempted 6 and made all 6. So from 20 to 39, he's only missed 1 field goal, and that's like the gimme area. That's pretty on brand.
That's an extra point area right there.
And it's also actually better than he did last year, because last year he missed 1, just like he did this year, 17 and 16 within 20 to 29 yards. And then he missed 4. He attempted 8, made 4 from the 30 to 39 yard category. So he missed 5 altogether in that area. So he's actually doing better. From the 40 to 49 yard length, he has attempted 7 and only made 3. So he's missed 4, which is 1 more than he missed last year, and actually 2 fewer than he missed in 96, which I don't know why that's coming up. Because I don't have it sorted weird. That's why. Actually, all of that's wrong. Anyway,
so you mentioned how from 0 to 39 yards, he has only had 1 miss so far this season.
Yes.
There are only 2 kickers in the NFL who have more than 1 miss at those distances, and that's Robbie Gould and Cairo Santos, the 2 kickers with the lowest field goal percentage in the league.
All right. Well, that's just so fucking sad.
I was very curious, and I was very sad once I got to the bottom, because I was like, damn, that is not something to be proud of.
No, that's as a fan, those are the ones you notice more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are the ones you go, oh, you're a real son of a bitch, aren't you?
Ones where like you don't mind looking away from the screen to like grab something because you're like, he's gonna make it.
Of course. Anyway, the last category, he has attempted 5 50-plus yard field goals and only made 2. So, which is so he's missed 3 of them, which the last time he missed 3 of those in a season was 2012. Jesus, Vinatieri, when he attempted 7 and made 4. My God, Vinatieri, what the fuck? He's actually attempted more 50-plus yarders in recent history than he did like his entire time in New England. I wonder if that's just a strategy thing.
I don't know. I guess, weather is really awful in New England in the colder months. Maybe it's just, that much worse that it's not even worth attempting.
It's
a theory.
I don't know. That's definitely a plausible theory. I also wonder if just like aggressiveness with game, with scoring, like we're seeing more 4th down attempts. Doesn't matter. So the thing is, though, I'm kind of willing to brush that 5 and 2 off to the side, which if you did, his field goal percent is actually 75%, which I know you can't just take stats away to make yourself feel better, but it made me feel better, and I like that.
But it's not like he would improve. Like, it's not like 75%, is like a good bar to shoot for.
No, but at the same time, it is a lot more in line with where he usually is, or at least the low end of where he usually is. Because the chip gimme shots he's still making fine. I haven't watched any of his games. Do you think he could just be losing leg strength or hip flexor or just some kind of strength?
I watched the Steelers game fully where I know he missed a kick there. And I saw some of the games earlier on in the season where he's missed a couple. Some of it is planting issues, planting too early and just, missing the point of the ball that you're trying to hit. There's been a hold issue here and there where the punter, Rigoberto Sanchez, who is the holder for them as well, kind of placed it incorrectly, kind of fucked it up a little bit. But they haven't exactly always been close misses. Like the one in the Steelers game was a wild miss. That was awful. It's been rough. It's not been a good year. It's hard to be able to watch him play and watch him kick and be like, there's some, glimmers of hope there, but it's just not a lot.
Yeah, I think the real telling point here is this 40 to 49 mark, where he's already missed 4. You know the last time he missed 4 or more of those kicks in a season?
I do not.
2001.
Ooh.
Yeah, where he went 7 for 12.
That's really bad.
Yeah, like 2018 he missed 1, 2017 1, the year before that 2, made all of them the year before that. Missed 1, missed 2, missed 1, missed 2, missed 1, made both of them. Missed 3, missed 2, missed 1, missed 2, missed 1, missed 3, missed 2, and then in 2001 he missed 5.
Damn.
So and that's really that, and the 50 plus, which again I still would be pretty willing to brush the 50 plus off ones because those are often a gamble. They're getting made at a pretty decent rate, but if your kicker misses a 52-yard field goal, I mean, you're not that mad.
No.
But 40 to 49, yeah. Like, sorry, so hold on. I'm going to keep out those 50 plusers, and I'm going to give him, let's say he makes 5 out of 7. All right, so that puts him at it'll be 17 for 20. 85%. He'd be at 85%. It's a pretty big difference. Those two kicks.
Yeah, 2 important kicks.
6 important points.
So do you think he recovers? Do you think he comes back after the offseason and goes back to his same old Adam Vinatieri self, or
no, I think
is
he's been pretty
47-year-old Adam Vinatieri going to be too old to come back?
I think he's gonna retire on his own terms. I think he'll probably play through this contract year and then be done. And I think he'll be okay with that because I think Adam Vinatieri is known for a long time that the end is near, but that he's good enough to persevere for a little while longer. And I think he'll be ready. Because you don't get to be that age in sports very frequently, regardless of the sport, but especially in football, even for lesser contact positions in theory, like kicker by far, but also kind of quarterback. They do get hit a lot, but not to the same degree as other positions. You have to assume that once Vinatieri crossed like 35, he was like, all right, cool. I'm just going to see what happens. I mean, I'd say he's got to be mentally. It's not going to be easy, but I got to imagine he's been mentally preparing for this for a while.
I'm sure those thoughts have been coming for more than just this season. I mean, when you're 46 years old, I'm sure when you were like 35 or even younger than that, it's like, do I want to retire? Nah, probably not. 46, you definitely know every kick could be your last.
Do you think he ever wants to retire? Or do you think he's just come to? Do you think any pro athlete wants to retire? It's a weird question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets to the point where they get burnt out a little bit. It depends on who it is, obviously, but I've definitely heard those stories where, guys they lose the love for the game. They just get tired out. They get hurt and just the rehab's not worth it anymore. And they want to retire. I think at this point, Adam Vinatieri is looking at it and he's thinking, hey, I've done this for so long. I'm never going to be able to do something like this again. Might as well keep doing it until I really can't, because this is what I want to do.
So just because we were talking about important field goals, I thought I would take a little peek at Vinatieri's season and where the 2 most impactful field goals he missed could have been, and I think I have them for you. You ready?
Okay. Yep.
The first one, well, it's not the first one chronologically, but one of them is the Pittsburgh game that you mentioned.
Oof.
In that game, the Colts, in which the Colts lost, where is it? 24-26, so 2-point differential. Adam Vinatieri went 1 for 2 in extra points and 1 for 2 in field goals. So Vinatieri left 4 points on the board.
We didn't touch on the extra points at all, but he has been really bad with that.
Yeah. I didn't realize that either. but now that's in front of me, like,
Ooh, he is dead last in the NFL with extra point attempts with 78.6. The next lowest is 85.3.
yeah, I think that's the hidden part of this conversation we hadn't talked about.
The median is 93%, just saying.
So give the Colts the 4 points that they were literally set up for, they would have won. The other game I think is a little bit more challenging because there are games in which there is a 3-point or fewer differential, but where either the Colts won those games, like beating the Titans 19-17, and beating the Falcons 27-24, or where Vinatieri didn't miss a field goal, like they lost to the Texans 17-20, but Adam Vinatieri made all of his field goals that game. So I think week 1 versus the Chargers, in which they lost 24-30, but they lost in overtime. So they went into overtime 24-24. Vinatieri in that game, 1 for 2 on extra points, 1 for 3 on field goals. So that means he left 7 points on the board. The Colts should have won that game in theory, 31-24.
Mm-hmm.
So those are probably the two most. So to give him, but even so, you give him one of the kicks in that game, the Colts would have won it 27-24. So I picked those as my two most important kicks Vinatieri missed of the season.
I'd agree with those.
Which is tough because he's such an easy dude to root for.
Yeah, pretty far removed from that snow game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that famous Pats one.
Yeah, it was such a clutch kick. I mean, he has so many game winners in the Super Bowl.
The Tuck Rule game, right?
Yeah, that snow game was the Tuck Rule.
Yeah, it almost didn't even register to me for a second.
Wow, hating on the Patriots for so long never gets old.
It made me want to, just like Tom Brady.
I was definitely not conscious for that Tuck Rule game. Like I was way too young, but in general.
I don't even remember the Tuck Rule game happened in 2001. I was 7.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I must have been like 4. What year was it, you said?
I believe the Tuck Rule game was 2001 because that was the year they beat. Was it 2001 or was it 2002? 2002. It was 2002. It was 2002.
Yeah, so I would have been 5. I would have just turned 5.
Yeah.
Fuck it, man. Shit's whack.
Yeah. The Rays traded Tommy Pham.
Yeah, I'm sorry. People keep like yelling about this on Twitter, how they think it's so unfair one way or the other. I think it's a pretty good trade for the Rays, but I don't know if it's, stealing like everyone said.
So I get a lot of Rays fans' points. Like they had a real attachment to Tommy Pham after last season because it feels like they never have good hitters.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do, they don't stay around for long. And then they had Tommy Pham, and now he's gone. So
yeah,
I get the frustration with it. I think the main point of it was probably the prospects.
I agree.
That seems to be it because I can't imagine. All right, so what are the Padres getting out of this? That's the thing I really can't figure out. That's why I don't think it's a fleece, but I also don't fully get. I mean, yeah, Tommy Pham's an upgrade, but you would think that they'd want to focus more on things like pitching.
I would agree. I think they're improving so they're getting a better outfielder. They're giving up a pretty good prospect in Xavier Edwards, and they're getting back a two-way guy who has a fairly high ceiling. I think the Padres are doing this for offense, obviously, like you said, and I think the Rays are doing it because they see Tommy Pham as a 32-year-old outfielder, and they have a lot of young guys, and they can get a pretty damn good prospect back from it, so why not?
Yeah, I think the other part of this is cost, because Tommy Pham is I just had it. There it is. In 2020, he's going to be making $8.6 million, and in 2020, Hunter Renfroe will be making $3.4 million, which is that a big difference? No. But this is also the Rays, and they have very little money and don't like to spend it. Or at least they claim they have very little money. Believe what you will. I am a natural skeptic. But
So I have some pretty cool stats, or two pretty cool stats here for you. Players since 2017, which was Pham's breakout season, to average 20 home runs and 20 stolen bases. Mookie Betts, Francisco Lindor, Christian Yelich, and Jose Ramirez, all MVP winners or top 5 finalists, and Tommy Pham. That's a fairly intriguing stat. So here's Padres position players in WAR since 2017, Pham's breakout. Hedges is first with 5.5. Margot has 4.1. Renfroe, who he was traded for, has 3.6. Fernando Tatis in his rookie year has had 3.6. And Manny Machado has had 3.1. In the same timeline, Tommy Pham has had 13.6.
Yeah,
so that's a pretty serious upgrade there if you're looking at WAR.
Real quick, that was from Foolish Baseball, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's wrong. I don't get that tweet at all.
Really?
Because he only counted Manny Machado's 2019 WAR because that's the only year he was on the Padres.
Yeah, I guess same with
also counting all of
Tatis.
Tommy Pham's WAR during that point. Because since 2017, Manny Machado's WAR is 3.5, 2.9, and 3.1, which is like still not as high as Tommy Pham's, I guess, but it's also very good. So I don't get what the fuck. Oh, sorry.
Can you look up? I guess I'll look up.
His 2018 WAR is 2.9 plus 2.8 because he had 2.9 with Baltimore and 2.8 with the Dodgers. So his 2018 WAR is actually 5.7. So he might have more than Tommy Pham there. I don't get that tweet in it seems so disingenuous.
Well, now I feel foolish.
I genuinely like Foolish Baseball. I genuinely don't get the point of the tweet because it seems so obviously incorrect with an agenda.
So his actual 2017 to 2019 WAR is 12.3. Still less than Tommy Pham, but not by nearly as much as he's trying to say.
Yeah, it's a startlingly large, because it's one thing the logic of it's so bad, because if you're saying, all right, this is what they've earned as Padres, then okay, Manny Machado has only earned 3.1 WAR as a Padre. But at the same time, Tommy Pham has earned 0 WAR as a Padre. So if you were to insert Tommy Pham into that, he would be dead fucking last outside of anyone with -1.
Sorry, Margot's is incorrect too. I'm just going through this list and looking up the different players it could, it could be.
What happened was the guy who ran Foolish Baseball 100% just like did a really lazy search and pasted over the results and didn't even think to himself, hey, maybe these guys were on different teams before they were on the Padres since 2017, and put 0 work in here.
Yeah, Hedges. Oh, because this is FWAR. I'm looking up Baseball Reference WAR, so that's why it's a little different for some of these.
Okay. But
all right, so I was wrong on many accounts with that, but we figured it out.
What Blues Clues is all about.
Did you see Blake Snell's reaction to this trade?
Yes, it was hilarious.
So fucking funny.
I've never heard the phrase slapdick before.
I have. I love it.
Fucking slapdick prospect.
Did you see all like the fake baseball cards with slapdick prospect?
I did. It was hilarious.
We follow a lot of the same people, it seems.
Yes, we do. It's great. It's a treat. That's going to make for a great spring training conversation.
Oh, 100%.
Hey, man, what's your name? I'm Slapdick Prospect.
Do you think he'll remember that?
The guy who got called Slapdick?
No, the guy who, Blake Snell.
Oh, he definitely will. He's getting raked right now on Twitter.
Good.
Which, do you think he deserves it?
No, I think it's, hey, it's one of your friends who you've been playing with for the past 2 years, 3 years, just got traded to a different team for a guy that you personally have never heard of. Of course, you're gonna react negatively to that. Like, come on.
Yeah, I kind of think the same. Like, yeah, he's been playing with a year and a half because he got traded midway through 2018. Playing
And
with Pham for a year and a half. Pham was on the team that Blake Snell won the Cy Young with. Like
yeah.
that means a lot.
And he's in the middle of playing, I assume, like Fortnite or, Modern Warfare while he's streaming. So obviously he's, in a semi stressful zone,
Yeah, we should just be glad he didn't drop the N word.
right? Fucking PewDiePie.
Yeah. The another weird take I saw was, oh geez, Tommy Pham on his third team. Will he finally be happy with this one?
Oh, shut
And
the
it's
fuck up.
I know because so it was a thing because Tommy Pham got traded away from the Cardinals to the Rays because he wasn't satisfied with the playing time he was getting. He thought he could contribute more. He wasn't happy in St. Louis, which to his credit, he was very likely correct about. And by all
100%.
accounts, he certainly was. Yeah. And he he asked for that one, but he didn't ask for this one.
No.
This
That we
was
know of.
nothing came out about this one. He was standing Tampa Bay all during the regular season. Like, he had I think one off-color comment about like wishing there were more people in the stands, but at the same time, like I bet everyone on the Rays feels that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what a terrible take.
Yeah, fuck those people that said it. I
Yeah,
don't know who, but fuck them.
I bet it was foolish baseball, that piece of crap.
All right, he actually has a pretty good account. I like him.
Yeah, it is a good account. All right, I don't really have anything. Oh, the Mets trading for Jake Marisnick. I have to talk about this.
Sure, go for it.
I don't understand. I don't
What team
understand
was
it.
it? The Mets
The Mets traded for Jake
him.
Marisnick.
Yeah, he has never been good.
Beyond
Even
that,
in
he has often
2017
been
when he
bad.
cheating was like kind of above average, and when he's bad, he's really, really bad.
So since 2017, the year that the cheating started, Jake Marisnick hit
Started.
OPS plus 119 in 2017. A lot of cheating. 83 in 2018 and 80 in 2019, which means even with the cheating, he's been bad.
That's rough.
Yeah. And not only that, but let's take a few other things into consideration here. Like one, Jake Marisnick plays in a very hitter-friendly ballpark in Minute Maid Field. Guess where the Mets play? Not a hitter-friendly ballpark. Citi Field is a very pitcher-friendly ballpark. And he was on the Astros team while they were cheating. And he's not going to get that advantage in New York. Not just because I don't think the Mets are cheating, but also because there's going to be a huge crackdown on it now that it's come out about this shit. I just don't. I don't fucking get it, man.
What did they give up for him?
Oh, some prospect. I generally don't remember. I think a pitching prospect.
No one of note, obviously.
Not that I would know, just because I don't follow the Mets as well.
Right.
I could pull up the trade. I don't truly care to.
Yeah, unless I see some scout or football guy tweeting about who this prospect is and how I should feel. I'm not gonna know who he is, so that's all I was looking for.
Yeah, because like the Astros side of this, like they don't care. Because Jake Marisnick isn't gonna be a huge contributor going forward, especially with the cheating going away. And like he's not good enough for it to matter. So
Exactly.
yeah, he's just gonna it's probably good for them. Like they don't have to pay him next year, and they get to have a new prospect as a lottery ticket. I don't, I guess again because I don't remember how well touted he is, and
Probably not very.
for the Mets, because the thing is with the Mets. So all right, so let's assume that they want to win now. Jake Marisnick does not help you win now. Yes, his defense is very good from whatever metric you want to use or under a base assumption of eye test. Yes. His bat, oh my God, it's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
He's not going to help you actively win games. He could help you not actively lose them with good defense, but he will not actively help you win them. So I don't believe that. And he's not an asset you can readily trade away at the deadline if things don't turn out well your way, like you could with a better prospect, or a better player. Like if they took a risk on 1 year left of his contract guy, like Tommy Pham.
Mm-hmm. He's got 2 left. But same sentiment.
Yeah, let's assume he has 1, just for the sake of this. If the Mets end up sucking a fat wad, they can trade Tommy Pham away at the deadline and get something back to try to build going forward, because Tommy Pham will be part of the future plan. But they can't do that with Jake Marisnick. Jake Marisnick has no value. The fact that they traded for a glove first platoon bat is insane to me, because that's like every minor league outfielder in the world.
It's like playing for a worse version of Kevin Kiermaier.
Yes, it is. It's exactly what it is. Because my thing with the Mets is, wouldn't you rather either A, trade for someone genuinely good and be sincere, B, pay someone who's genuinely good and be sincere with your money, or C, start a highly touted minor leaguer that you want to see if he is any good, and if not, now you know, and you can move him. If he is, you can play him. And if he is, but your season sucks and you don't want him, you can trade him. I don't understand what Jake Marisnick does for the Mets this year or any year going forward. It's such awful planning.
Yeah, like I get why you could argue for this. Like the Mets didn't pay practically anything for a guy that they can start and be good defensively. But his ceiling is so low that what's
and
the
his
point
floor.
of like you're saying, like what's the point of even doing it? Like you have to have prospects that probably won't work out because they're prospects that are still, worth more to start than this guy.
And I think I heard people saying that this is one of Carlos Beltran's guys because they played together in 2017. But that's not a reason. That's not a good reason. He's not good. The Mets outfield WAR in 2019. Any guesses? Granted, these numbers are very low for everybody.
Nah, just give it to me.
0.1. That's
fuck.
Which is actually 14th in all of baseball. They're tied with the Arizona Diamondbacks. A lot of teams are negative here. The team with the most outfield WAR in 2019 was the Yankees at 8.5, just ahead of the Dodgers and the Astros. So do the Mets need outfield help? Yes, they do. Is Jake Marisnick the guy who's going to give it to them? No, he is not. It's fucking stupid to think. It's absolutely asinine to think that he is.
Man, Mets are stupid forever and always.
It makes you so mad because it seems like their problems are so fixable. And yet, the other thing, this is such a side note, but the fact that they let Zach Wheeler walk is also so strange. Because if he went for like a lot of money, like if he went for the larger contract that the White Sox were offering of over $120 million and you didn't want to do it or whatever, like, and you were planning on re-signing somebody else or signing another big-time free agent or whatever, like, I mean, maybe, but like you couldn't pay $20 million for 6 years for a homegrown pitching talent. Like,
I'm sure they were just super scared of the drop off he had last year in the second half.
And I get that, but at the same time, like, if there's anyone that you should be looking at, it's guys like this. it'd be such a great story for him. Outfield free agents that the Mets should, could, and won't sign to contracts. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Marcell Ozuna, Nick Castellanos, Yasiel Puig, Corey Dickerson would be but he's there. Kevin Pillar, not great. That'd be a lateral move with Jake Marisnick. Eric Thames would be super fun.
Would he though?
Of course. Avisail Garcia, Adam Jones. Yeah, that's most of it though. I'm not seeing anyone else too exciting here. But those names alone, Cameron Maybin even, who had a really, really nice season for the Yankees last year. Like there are people out there that they certainly could be looking into. Like if the Mets got Yasiel Puig, that would make so much sense.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool too. I mean, of course I want him with the Indians, but no, he's not going to get paid anything next year.
I bet you could get him for like 3 years, anywhere between 15 and 30 million.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Maybe even lower.
I
don't think you could get him for lower.
It's the only reason I'm so unsure right now is because I can't think of anyone who's actually signed yet in the outfield. So I'm not sure what we're looking at yet.
All right, fair.
But
fair.
Puig wouldn't be outrageously expensive. And guess what? He only costs your money. Like he doesn't cost your prospects.
Yeah.
Nick Castellanos would be more expensive, but he'd also be a great addition to that outfield.
I definitely trust Nick Castellanos more than I would trust Yasiel Puig.
I'd even say taking a risk on Marcell Ozuna would be super cool.
That would be pretty cool.
Because it shows that they're at least willing to take a swing. Like there's so many better things that they could have done rather than trade for. If the trade for Jake Marisnick feels like a trade move to just say that they did something.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, why aren't the Mets trading for anyone? Why aren't they committing to this team? Oh, but we traded for Jake Marisnick.
Oh yeah, we almost signed Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp, exactly who we want to sign.
Watch as the Mets. That'd be a Mets ass move to do, though.
Oh, 100%.
All right, that's all I got.
They could have signed Brett Gardner.
I looked at it and I refused to say it out loud.
I knew there was somebody we were forgetting.
I didn't forget. I saw his name.
I saw today that they offered him a contract. He just accepted it yet. I don't know what the truth is, obviously, but we'll see.
Yeah, all will come out in time, I suppose.
How upset would you be if he did not sign with the Yankees?
I'd be pretty fucking upset.
Devastating.
I would be really sad, man. I'd be really if we lost CeCe and Gardy in the same offseason. My heart can't take that, man.
Your heart will go on.
Just take Judge into the back and shoot him at that point.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Nah, man. I am beat. Let's get out of here.
Let's do it. Let's watch the end of this Pac-12 championship. Oregon is fucking rolling.
If you want to follow the show on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to check out the show notes, you can do so at juicingthenumbers.worksite.com/website. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. I think I said that already. So if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod.
So
what?
The Mets just signed Brad Brock, so they're doing something.
Oh, I did see that. Cool, bro. That's all I have to say.
I just saw it go across the bottom of the ticker at the bottom, and I didn't want anything to slip by us again, so I was just making sure.
They signed him to, I believe, an $850,000 contract.
Holy shit! Never mind.
With a $2.1 million club option for next year, for 2021. Okay. It's fucking nothing.
Why is that on the bottom ticker?
Because nothing else happened today.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, until Thursday, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.